What nation are you a citizen of?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
Have you ever ordered Chinese food? So we have to talk about TikTok, or as my girlfriend's mom from Nicaragua likes to say, TikTok. It's the place where you can go to get everything from learning how to do the slick back, watch cats playing piano, to financial bros giving you investing advice on how to make millions with day trading. It really is the Walmart of social media. But now TikTok is effectively banned.
Oh no! Anyway.
No, but in all seriousness, this is huge. On Wednesday this week, the president signed into law what is basically a countdown to the end of TikTok.
I just signed into law the national security package that was passed by the House of Representatives this weekend and by the Senate yesterday. It's going to make America safer, it's going to make the world safer, and it continues America's leadership in the world, and everyone knows it.
All right, so if you don't care about TikTok, there is so much more to this than you could ever imagine. It's more than just people's right to watching cat videos or influencers' right to making money on the internet. This is a story that's about foreign policy and the tension between two superpowers. We're talking about the right to freedom of speech, the right to privacy, election interference and results, and of course investing and divesting. So here's exactly what's going on. This new law requires that a company called ByteDance, which owns TikTok, to sell its shares of TikTok. Now, if they don't comply and ByteDance doesn't sell TikTok, they will be permanently banned from the US marketplace, which means over 170 million Americans won't have access to TikTok from the App Store. They also have 9 months to figure this out with an option for a 3-month extension. The ban also forced the CEO of TikTok to make a response on the platform, and long story short, he says TikTok will continue to fight in the courts based on the argument that forcing the sale of the company is unconstitutional. Now, this is a very charged issue on both sides, with some people who support the ban who don't care for TikTok at all, and then there's other people who rely on TikTok for an income who use the platform who are obviously against it. Now, in the meantime, there's a lot of fear and misinformation and a lot of rumors being spread on the internet about why this is happening. So in today's video, I want to show you both sides of the argument because, believe it or not, they both have merit. I want to show you the possible outcomes of this and how this will affect us, and then you can decide what's right and what's wrong. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the TikTok. So why does the US government want to ban TikTok so much? There's been a lot of rumors from the US wants to control the narrative all the way to they just don't want us to know what's happening in the Middle East. But the reason is because US lawmakers believe that TikTok is an urgent threat to national security. And that's because TikTok collects a lot of user data, including the videos you watch, the comments that you write, private messages you send, potentially your geolocation and your contacts list. The company also collects things like your email address, your phone number, your age, search and browsing history, information about what's in the photos and videos you upload, and it also stores and collects your data from other websites even when you're not using TikTok. So basically it knows everything about you.
Including your dick pics.
But hold on a minute, how is that any different from what Google or Meta or any other social media platform isn't also already doing? And the truth is, it's not. It's not any different at all. In fact, according to a cybersecurity analysis firm, both Google and Meta lead the way when it comes to tracking their users. So then if all of our information is out there anyway, what's the problem with another company having it? And the problem is ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok, which is also based in China. And unfortunately, right now, there's a lot of mistrust between the US and China over how that user data could be used against US interests. So far, there's no public evidence that the Chinese government has ever used TikTok to spy on people. But TikTok is not innocent. There's a few examples of how TikTok abused its power and its data in a way that got a lot of attention and sparked some of what's happening today.
This story began back in October when we published a story saying that we knew that a ByteDance team called the Internal Audit and Risk Control Department had tracked the specific location of individual US citizens for a purpose that didn't have to do with advertising or serving them content in the app.
A group of Forbes journalists were doing a story on TikTok and their potential ties to the Chinese government. That was the moment for TikTok to be on its best behavior, to prove to the world that they have nothing to hide. Except that didn't happen. A team of employees at ByteDance spied on the journalists covering that story. They were able to gain access to the journalists' IPs, and they tracked their location to see if those journalists interacted with any one of their employees. Forbes found out, and when they reported on it, TikTok immediately went to Twitter to reject the journalists and accuse them of lacking integrity. But then later they said, okay, we've never spied on important people like journalists and government officials, but it turns out they were wrong.
TikTok, they didn't quite deny the facts that we had reported, but they went on Twitter and they said our reporting lacked integrity. And they said that TikTok had never been used to target specific groups like politicians, activists, or journalists. And now we know, maybe TikTok, whoever wrote that tweet just didn't know at the time that that actually was happening.
Now, eventually TikTok did an internal investigation, and of course they found out what they were doing, so they finally publicly admitted to it. But at that point, they lost the trust of the Federal Communications Commission, which said, at the precise moment when TikTok is trying to convince US officials that it can be trusted, when it has every incentive to ensure the security of user data, its Beijing-based parent company abused its systems to obtain data on reporters that are covering TikTok. This should be the final nail in the coffin for the idea that US officials can trust TikTok. And then it got worse.
There were these accounts putting out sort of specific information about legislators, specific information about people who were up for election. Viewers of those TikToks did not know that they were coming from Chinese state media. And TikTok, unlike its competitors, was not labeling them.
So TikTok has definitely used its platform to promote its own agenda. But the reason why people feel like the US government is picking on TikTok is because we all know that companies do this all the time. TikTok is not the only tech company that has leveraged its data to spy on journalists. In fact, Facebook and Uber did it in the past.
We know that Facebook did it and we know that Uber did it. In both situations, it was a big deal when it happened, and the companies ended up paying dearly for their use of this tracking technology.
So again, the question is, why is the US government picking specifically on TikTok if they're not the only ones doing this? Is there some hidden agenda? And that's how these rumors get created. And if TikTok is so bad, why'd the president get a TikTok? Come on, man, I just wanted those young voters. But I think we need to have an honest, transparent discussion here, because there is an agenda, but it's not hidden. This is what people call matters of national security. Believe it or not, the US has a very long history of protecting its interests, and forcing the sale of a company is not the first time the US has done that. In more recent years, the US forced the sale of a Chinese company called Kunlun Tech to sell its shares of a company called Grindr, the very popular dating app. Don't ask me how I know. And in 2018, the US government prevented Ant Financial from buying a company called MoneyGram over the same concern that the Chinese government would get access to sensitive data. And in 2017, the former President Donald Trump stopped a Chinese-funded company from buying a chip manufacturer called Lattice, again over fear that China could get access to sensitive user data. And this tradition of not allowing foreign individuals and countries to own US media and communication services goes all the way back to the Radio Act of 1912, which put a limit on who could own communication infrastructure by not allowing foreign governments to own them. And TikTok falls under that situation, which wasn't really a problem back in the old days when we didn't have social media. Like, can you imagine George Washington trying to cross the Delaware while trying to film a TikTok? Would you hold steady for the gram, John? Your rowing is off rhythm for this dance challenge. But this is also why we have rules over who can participate in US politics. That's why people who don't have a green card can't put money toward a political campaign. That's why the Constitution requires you to be a US citizen for at least 7 years before you can run for Congress, and why you can't ever be a US president if you're not a natural-born citizen. Ask me how I know these things, because I wasn't born in the US and I didn't become a citizen until I was older. So I actually never got to go to the US Air Force Academy, which was one of my dreams when I was in high school. But even though I was qualified, I wasn't a citizen, so I wasn't allowed to go. Sometimes though, I wonder how different my life would have been if I had gone, but I guess I'm in too deep now. Hold steady for the gram. In the meantime though, the US went ahead with its plan and rolled the TikTok ban within the foreign aid package of $95 billion to both Ukraine and Israel. Now ByteDance does not want to sell TikTok, and TikTok doesn't want to be sold. And that's why they say they'll continue fighting in the courts, because they believe this is unconstitutional. So here's the possible outcomes. Outcome number one, If TikTok does not get sold and it gets banned, it would affect 7 million small businesses, over 170 million people wouldn't be able to use the app, and it would have an economic impact of $14.7 billion on small to mid-sized businesses. And that of course includes a lot of the creators who rely on it for income. Now, outcome number 2, ByteDance does agree to sell TikTok. But here's the thing, even if they agreed to do that, there would be major problems because the Chinese government also doesn't trust the US either. Selling TikTok would conflict with China's export control list because anytime Chinese user data is exported to another country, it has to first be approved by the Chinese government. Now that doesn't mean it can't be sold, it just complicates that option that much more. And then there's outcome number 3, and that's where we could end up with 2 different versions of TikTok, one that has the user data and the other which does not. TikTok Lite. Believe it or not, there's actually already 2 versions of TikTok. There's one version of TikTok that everybody knows, uses, and loves. That's the international version. And then there's another that's called Douyin, which is the original and censored, controlled version of TikTok. Because the TikTok that's on most people's phones right now is also banned in China. But that doesn't prevent government officials from accessing user data if they wanted to. Now, even though TikTok probably doesn't even share its user data with the government, the point is that their parent company is based in Beijing, which means that ultimately it must answer to the whims and authority of the Chinese government. So it's not a matter of what they did wrong, because they didn't, at least not any more than any other US tech company already has. It's more of a matter of what they could do if they wanted or were instructed to. Now, personally, I'm at a crossroads about this because I have a lot of friends that make a living exclusively from TikTok. And I know that TikTok's been an amazing platform for allowing anyone to make money from anywhere in the world. And there's many people that use TikTok for news to get access to this directly from the source. And that's what TikTok's campaign is all about, empowering you with the tools to get access to this information while allowing you the freedom of speech and to make money from anywhere in the world. And those are very much American values. But after researching for this video and understanding it a little more, I can see how much more complicated the situation is than what anyone makes it seem. I understand how the United States might want to protect its user data and shelter its citizens from foreign political influence, and how that might take priority over any of TikTok's benefits. But I also remember a certain someone saying that freedom comes with risk, because those who give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Because if you're 100% safe, then you don't have true freedom. So which one do we want? I don't think I have the right answer, but if I could just magically snap my fingers and make all the countries get along and not be afraid of one another, I would do that and we'd all continue using TikTok, but that's also not the world we live in. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, either as someone who watches TikTok, who creates content on TikTok, or as somebody who watches on the sidelines who doesn't care at all. What do you think we should do? As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to grab your free stocks, links are down below, and go track them automatically with a spreadsheet link down below in my Patreon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd love to see you back here on Monday and Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. See you soon. Bye-bye.